Hey guys, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. I hope you guys are having a great day. I want to do an update on what we covered yesterday related to Judy and Benji Travis and Julian Travis and Valerie. Yesterday I did a series of videos, actually a live stream where I talked about 3 videos that Valerie, the former nanny of Benji and Judy Travis of ItsJudysLIfe, made about their brother, or Judy's brother-in-law, Benji's brother, Julian. And in the video, she detailed some pretty terrible things that Julian has done to her, along with other people that he has done these things to. And she had called out Benji and Judy regarding their sort of lack of empowerment of the women in their lives that need help and need support, and sort of counteracting how they weren't using their platform in a way that she felt was genuine, given the fact that she and her Amy, Julian's ex-wife, were both in a situation where they had been deeply hurt by Julian, and they felt abandoned by Judy and Benji. So a lot of people were online, and people have opinions, and that's the thing about this story. Is I always wanted to come at this with an angle of compassion, because I still understand that people are upset at Judy and Benji. I feel as though they are in truly an impossible situation where you have a sibling that is close to your family that has done something really bad, and you also have this massive platform, and you have other family members that are sort of directly impacted by that person, and you have this public persona, and it's just, how do you navigate that? Because her talking about it, Judy or Benji, it just doesn't fit on their channel. And so there's been this like massive outrage by fans that they haven't addressed it publicly. And Judy showed up in my live stream, and she basically said that, listen, they have cut off him. He is not a part of their lives, and they're not providing financial support. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. We did point out that they're still like Facebook friends, and they at least saw him last on 4th of July in 2019. But in terms of like any recent photos or any recent vlogs that I could see or that I was told about, I didn't notice Julian in any of them. So after I did all of these videos, Valerie actually reached out to me. So I had sent Valerie a message earlier in the day, and I said, hey, I want to help you spread this word. I want to help you spread the word. I want to help you sort of build your story and help you just share. And I would be happy to help you on my platform. And so she responded to me, and she said that she was overwhelmed because she didn't really expect the impact of how far this story would go because of Judy's own platform. But she did say that, her point in all of this was never to cancel Judy or cancel Benji. And as we started talking, she talked a few things, but she posted this on Instagram this afternoon, and then I want to show you a few things that she told me via our conversation so that you can understand completely where she's at and where Judy and Benji at, and hopefully everyone can move forward. And I don't know if Judy and Benji are going to say anything publicly, but if Valerie is satisfied, that really should be what matters here. So she posted this on Instagram, which said, my videos on YouTube are getting so much more attention than I ever expected. On that note, I don't want Benji and Judy to be canceled in any way. I want Julian, Metro Man Cave, to be canceled. I want his pages to be taken down. I want the world to know who he is, what this is about him, and what he did to me and others. All I want from Benji and Judy is for them to do better with their platform. If you claim to empower women, then some of the money you make off that claim needs to go back to the women's issues, charities, and not just your pockets. So she wants to sort of scale back everyone's outrage about Judy and Benji. And I think the problem here is that even if she's satisfied, there's going to be people on the internet that are going to not agree with this. They're not going to like the fact that, they still might have a relationship with Julian. People might not like that they haven't fully cut him out of his life. Now, Judy says that they have. So when I spoke to her, I wanted to get a feel for, she said that they hadn't reached out to them, but I wanted to know, like, have you reached out to them? Like, communication has to go both ways. And obviously when you're recovering from something, you might not think to reach out to somebody. So I said, have you tried reaching out to them at all? Just trying to understand. The story really is so complicated. And she said it is. And the last time we talked was really briefly back in March. He was telling me that they were having a girl, and I told him how amazing that is and how incredibly lucky they were to have 4 girls. Then I told him I missed them all, and he returned the sentiment. And then she said, yes, I could have reached out myself. I just knew Julian was still what seemed to be a big part of everyone's life still, so it angered me. You can share any of this. This is why I keep saying I don't want Benji and Judy to be canceled in any way. I just want them to do better with their platform. If they claim to empower women, then they need to prove that, in my opinion. And then she said, and it could be donating to women's charities or posting something about organizations, hotlines, numbers. It doesn't have to be them talking about me by any means. I want them to be able to support their girls forever. I don't want this cancel culture for them. What this comes down to is me trying to cancel Julian and only Julian. And I said, well, I think that's, really, there's nothing right that they could really do in terms of this, in terms of the online world. It seems like no matter what however Judy responds here, or doesn't respond, or Benji responds or doesn't respond, there's going to be people that are going to be critical of this no matter what. Some people are going to be fully satisfied, but you're always in this like very impossible position where you don't know, if someone's going to be satisfied, and you can't please everyone. And I said, it's hard because they don't owe anyone an explanation, but sometimes you have to. And she said, absolutely. I take responsibility in the fact that I haven't reached out either. I think after I gave permission for them to talk about it and said, if they don't, I think people will be pissed and stop following, which is not what I wanted. They should have done even the tiniest of things. Giving out a hotline is not airing out your private stuff, but it could help someone who just be a little bit selfless. And I said, very true. I feel like Judy is almost in an impossible situation, to be honest. And she said, yeah, she might be. And then, after all of this, she actually told me that she had a conversation with Judy. And I was actually kind of excited about this because when I had asked her, like, had you reached out to them? And, she really did say that, like, she just wasn't sure whether or not, her heart was open to that. And I think maybe I planted a tiny little seed, because then this afternoon she sent me this message and she said, they have both reached out to me now and we've had a very good conversation. I choose to accept their reaching out. My insides are twisted up knowing I could cause someone else hurt. And that is never what I want to do. I want this topic to go where it needs to, and that is to Julian Travis and to what Julius Travis has done to me, and I want him to be canceled. He is a, you know what I'm talking about. He hurts me in more than a couple. He hurt me in more than a couple, and he is the one I want to bring down. Again, thank you for trying to bring light to what he did to me. So I'm so happy that, if nothing else, her video got Benji and Judy to actually sort of wake up. You know how yesterday I said sometimes you have to scream and yell when you have something and you feel like you're not being heard. And then you also realize maybe I was part of the problem. Like, yeah, I didn't reach out either. And if they reached out, is it too late? I don't think so. I do think that Judy and Benji are in an impossible situation. I think that there's always a dynamic of family that you'll never understand. Judy could very well be at risk of upsetting her in-laws by doing something like publicly trashing Julian, or, she could be very stern behind the scenes that we don't know. You know what I mean? Like, because she's never said anything. And we don't really understand the true impact that this has had on a family. I can just share from my own experience that it's nothing that's easy. And you're definitely not like ignoring the fact that there's this giant elephant in the room. So if anything, I'm grateful that they have come to some sort of resolution. And Valerie, I think, is right. The focus should be not on Judy and Benji, because they didn't do anything wrong. It should be on Julian. So I don't know. Julian doesn't have a massive platform. He hasn't been really using YouTube, but he does have like 26,000 people on Instagram. And she wants people to know that he's not a good person. He's been doing this to other people, and she wants him canceled. So can you roll back your feelings about Judy and Benji and hand them a little bit of compassion and say to them, hey, you did the best you could? Because that's all that matters. So tell me what your thoughts are. Are you satisfied with this? Are you frustrated? I'm open to all things, but I'm going to try to stay positive on this one because Valerie's happy, and that's what makes me happy. As a survivor myself, I know how hard that is to reach out. I know how hard it is to accept people reaching out. So I'm glad that she has found peace with them and that she can move forward in a positive direction and work towards expanding her reach and story about Julian. All right, you guys, so I'll be back later with more. Bye, guys.